Howdy banger pals, Blayne Smith bringing you our patron supporters top 5 albums of 2024. Is this video late? No, it's January. January is a totally fine time for album of the year content. It's just someone releases it in December and then someone releases it in November and then it's a race. January is a perfectly fine time to be bringing this to you. So we asked our patron supporters what were your top albums of 2024. We tallied up the votes and we're bringing them to you now. If you'd like to be part of this next time, head on over to Patreon, toss us a couple bucks. You keep me from having to talk about VPNs, meal kits. I don't know, all the ads you see on every video. Honey was a scam. So, album number 5 is 2 albums. We had a tie for the number 5 spot, so it's not the number 5 spot, it's the number 5 spot, part 1, Necrophobic, In the Twilight Gray. Necrophobic are one of the only big European death or black and death bands that can get to the size they are and still manage to make, I don't know, a black and death metal record I actually want to hear. A lot of people, like, I don't know, me, say this style is not really compatible with a big budget band, but somehow Necrophobic time and time again have managed to produce a big, polished, shiny record. They're not trying to make artificial grime. They're not trying to still sound like they're an underground band. They know what they are, and yet they still manage to make it work for the style. I mean, Shadows of the Brightest Night is a crazy catchy song. That chorus you just want to sing along with, which again, black and death metal, I don't normally say, boy, I sure want a catchy song, but when it's Necrophobic, it's fantastic. So definitely a great pick. Definitely big shout-outs to Necrophobic, and also big shout-outs for, I don't know, being guys in their 50s that spend their time making some of the best music in their career as opposed to arguing with their fans on Facebook about whether AI art is good. It's not. I like when little narratives form just kind of on their own, and our tied 5th pick actually share a little something, even though they don't necessarily share a lot in sound. So tied for number 5 was Thou's Umbilical. Check it out. So what does Necrophobic and Thou have in common? Well, just like Necrophobic is making big budget black and death metal sound good, which seems like an impossibility, Thou is making sludge in 2024, and it sounds fresh and new and interesting, which also seems impossible. This is another band that has a very long, proud career. I saw them years ago, probably 15 years ago, at a place in Toronto called Soy Bomb. They were playing with Wolves in the Throne Room. They needed a place to crash, and at the time I lived in a crazy loft that literally had parts of it connected by a bridge. So I was like, hey, yeah, I got plenty of floor space. And so I've been listening to Thou a long time, and it's very surprising that they are able to stay as cool and interesting as they do. Again, in a genre that the genre itself is having trouble in 2024 staying cool and interesting. They absolutely bury every other sludge band in the vocal department. Same thing with the drumming. The drumming, as opposed to just being this kind of normal hypnotic driving force, really a lot of the time stands up and takes center stage. So Thou, really happy to see Thou on here. Again, just a band with a really great history of records. Necrophobic, Thou, if you haven't checked these records out or like all of their past records, you've got a whole bounty of albums to listen to. On to our number 4 pick. A pick of mine is a pick of yours. It's Crypt Sermon with the Stygian Rose. This is what I mean when I say a little bit of jank goes a long way. The vocals are phenomenal, but there's something a little bit off about them, and it's way better than if that wasn't there. It's a little bit Candlemass, but a little bit their own thing as well. This is a hard style of music to do well, so it's crazy that it was on my album of the year list. The #1 spot in Decibel's album of the year list, on your album of the year list. We've reviewed it here on BangerTV. This has gotten a lot of coverage, so I'll keep it brief. Epic Anything is very hard to do. On my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/metalcomedy, on Fridays, we randomly pull a genre and country out of a hat and just check out that country's scene for that music, and sometimes we pull epic, and I'll tell you this, there's not a lot of great epic bands out there, so this isn't great as an epic band. This is just a great band. This is exactly the kind of nerd shit that I'm in for, and I'm so happy to see how much love they're getting. Up next, a banger viewer album of the year list wouldn't be complete without Devin Townsend, Power Nerd. Sorry, but this is some nerd shit that I do not love. I do feel bad always having to constantly take a poo-poo on a Devin Townsend record because I know you guys love them, and I know you guys love them because anytime he releases anything, it's on our list for whatever you guys get to vote for. You guys love Devin Townsend so much, and he's such a nice guy, and he's Canadian. I want to love him so much, but dear God, when I put this record on, it sounds like when a TV show just randomly has a metal band playing, and you're like, that's not what I should do. I don't know what that is, but that is not for me. I think it's just how earnest and emotional he is. I'm just like, no, my skin is crawling. Please sing about demons or pyramids or something. I don't know. And also, I'm sorry, but Mother, I'm hauling heavy loads. I'm finna need a camera on pause on that one. That's a crazy line to put this song. And our #2 spot is Opeth with Last Will and Testament, and dear God, I hope it is. This one I do not feel bad about not liking. This is some coworker metal if I've ever heard it.
Do you mean Dylan?
Ackerfeld is growling again, yeah, in between some of the wackest singing I've ever heard in my life, and I just listened to a Devin Townsend record. We seriously get some very weak growls for 5 seconds before they go off and like, and then the goat was led by Jesus through the valley of death. And this is a record that I'm supposed to vibe with. No, stop. I half the time it sounds like Aladdin about to meet up with Jasmine. This is not, I do not, no. What I do love about metal is this reaction either means I'm an unbearable hipster or a full-on poser. Either way, Opeth gets a big old no from me. No Peth, please. But for our #1 spot, an absolute dark horse candidate emerges. What the heck? In the #1 spot is Blood Incantation's Absolute Elsewhere. Who saw that coming? This one I do like, though. And if you want to just say, Blayne, this is just new Opeth, I mean, that's fine. I'd say the difference is Paul actually does death metal vocals in between being an absolute swag lord. Let's get this guy up on the screen. Give me a couple photos. Give me a couple photos of Paul. Look at this guy. That's the only bald guy whose hairline I won't make fun of. In all seriousness, though, I don't remember the last time I've seen this level of just like general consensus on a record. It's on everybody's list, if not in the top spot. It's no surprise that it's in your top spot. In my Discord community, we did a everybody's album of the year. It was in our top spot. It's on every list, every single person. Blood Incantation, Blood Incantation, Blood Incantation. It's not my #1 record of the year, but I have no issues with it. I'd say the difference between something like Opeth and something like this is when they're not playing death metal, it still sounds good. It's organic and it feels great, and it's not about jamming as much stuff in as possible. It's about creating a vibe. I think it goes together really well with the death metal. I know some people are like really worked up and frothing at the bit about this. When they're not playing death metal, it's not death metal, and why isn't it death metal all the way through? And if it's not death metal going with death metal, it doesn't matter. Relax. If you like death metal, we've got so much death metal. There's like an infinite supply of death. But death metal is a renewable resource. We've achieved like death metal fusion at this point. We have a stable death metal tokamak reactor. The magnetic field is holding the plasma is stably. If you want death metal, there's a death metal record out there for you. So everybody take a breath, relax. If you don't like it, that's cool. Everybody else likes it. Like, everybody likes it. So what are you going to do? Blood Incantation, #1. Can't be stopped. I am sad that Antichrist Seed Machine is not on this list. But other than that, great picks, gang. I liked some of them. And we do have a couple of runners up for you, too. We've got some runners up as well. There were 3 records that were really popular with you guys as well. And as far as I'm concerned, they're 2 pieces of delicious bread with a turd in the middle. It's a real turd sandwich, but on artisanal bread. So one of the runners-up was Slift. Now, this was a band I've never heard of because they're, I guess, just not even a metal band. They're just like they're a prog band. Maybe it's prog metal. I don't know. If you want to argue about whether it's metal or not, that's fine by you. But I really like it. You guys gave me something to listen to that I hadn't heard. This is prog I can get into. I'm not a prog hater. I'm just a picky prog boy. So great pick there. Less of a great pick is Fleshgod Apocalypse. Dear God, why is so much happening all the time? It's too much. It's too much. Can we not agree? This is too much. Everybody needs to relax. There's so many things happening. I cannot do this. But we also had, unsurprisingly, 200 stab wounds. I love these boys getting any attention, even though they get all the attention, because holy hell do they work for it. They're constantly grinding out tours. They're playing music, and I love that they're playing with punk bands, with metal bands. Metal punk punk and metal. We're coming back together again, and this is one of the bands I think driving that. So more metal punk, more great records like 200 Stab Wounds and Slift, and we won't talk about the third one. And that is it for the video, and that is it for our 2024 wrap-up content. As always, we'll have more reviews coming for you, and then in February, we got to start talking about our most anticipated albums for 2025. 2024 is officially done. It's dead. Put it in the casket. Let's look ahead.